Well, it's about time I finally rank the Nightmare on Elm Street films. I had a couple videos do really well recently talking about the Nightmare on Elm Street 4K and the Freddy's Nightmares TV series. So to close out spooky season, we're going to talk about Freddy one more time. Alright, so here we are. We are looking at the tier list that we're going to be compiling today with all 9 A Nightmare on Elm Street films, and this is my current appraisal of them. In another year or two, I'll probably do another ranking of this because I've only seen the Nightmare on Elm Street remake once, but we'll get there. We're going to start with A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original from 1984, the classic by Wes Craven. To say this movie is iconic would be an understatement in 2025. The impact it's had on the horror community, horror movies in general, and specifically the slasher genre, isn't really measurable. It's that incredible. It obviously spawned a legendary series, an insane amount of merchandise because of that series. Not to mention, some of the best deaths of the entire franchise are in this movie. This movie is, hands down, the scariest in the franchise. It goes without saying, I think, that we're going to throw it in the S tier. I had to give it a little bit of suspense there, but all I was doing was saying positive things. What did you think I was going to do? I have not had the opportunity to ever see this played in a theater, but I have watched this movie many times. I've been to where they filmed Nancy's house, long before they planted a bunch of bushes in front. You know, there's not a lot left to be said about this movie, I don't think. It's just perfect. And moving on, we will talk about A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. So this one has a very interesting legacy. It was by no means, a fan favorite for many years. I want to say somewhere in the late 2000s, early 2010s, a lot of people started to talk about the gay undertones in the movie. It became very well known and associated with that. Even though the director Jack Shoulder says it was never intentional, you watch that movie, it looks pretty intentional, right? I've even got a Nightmare on Elm Street 2 pride flag hanging back there. Before I say anything else, I'm going to place it. And I'm going to place it in the S tier right next to the original. I don't know how you guys are going to feel about that, but that's genuinely how I feel. It's my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Now, I don't think it's the best objectively, but I do love it. Now, I see a common criticism people will bring up when they talk about why they don't like this movie, besides the gay stuff, which if that's your criticism, then come on, come up with something better. But I'll see them say that it doesn't really follow the established rules. The established rules of one horror movie, which are ever evolving and changing throughout every one of these movies. Not just 2. In particular, I think Freddy's makeup in this movie is fucking haunting. Not only that, I just think he is at his scariest, besides the original, of course, in this movie. They're neck and neck. And I know that public opinion on this movie has shifted way more positively in the last few years, last 10, 15 years. So I know I'm not alone on this one. Next up, we have A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. Now, right off the bat, this is one that I never saw many of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies when I was a kid, right? I grew up and I watched the first one, and that was the one I saw the most. And then I think I saw Dream Child on TV one day, and I didn't recall liking it, but it was kind of like I watched midway through, it was like when you're flipping channels. And Nightmare on Elm Street 3 was one that you always hear about as being like everyone's favorite. Like, this is the best sequel, that one's really good. And don't get me wrong, it is good. It's great, it's fantastic, but I think in the last few years, people have started to realize, okay, this one is really where things did start to go downhill. Especially if you're someone who doesn't like the comedy in the Freddy movies. I'm not one of those people, so I don't actually think it's where it starts to go downhill per se, because I think it's a good movie. But Chuck Russell definitely put comedy into Freddy in this movie, in a way that it wasn't in the first 2. He has said before that he did that on purpose. Now, some of this movie is definitely cheesier than the first 2 as well. Like, the vibes they just are shifted, you know what I mean? The kills start to become less gruesome and more just goofy. Now, don't get me wrong, Welcome to Primetime Bitch is maybe the best quote out of the franchise, but also it's a little goofy, isn't it? However, I will say, this again, because of Welcome to Primetime Bitch, that scene, and you have the puppet scene, which is again great, but completely feels out of line with something you would see in the first movie, I think, and even the second one. But I do think you kind of need to do that going forward, right? You need things to evolve and change and update. So, that being said, we're going to put Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors in the A tier. For me personally, it is a step below those two. Next up, we're looking at A Nightmare on Elm Street 4 The Dream Master. Now, I never put too much thought into this one. I think I've seen this one only a few times, like maybe 4 or 5 times total now. The first time I watched it was when I bought that Platinum Series DVD collection, and I went through and watched all the movies, because at that point I had only seen 2 of them. And as time goes forward, this one grows in how much I like it. It has had one hell of a come up, I will say, in my brain. Some of the kills in here are just like, they're burned into my skull. When I think about this movie, I think about the waterbed scene. I mean, that's an incredible kill. The story and structure of it's very interesting, the way they kind of kill characters off. But I do think it's a step below Dream Warriors, so for now we're going to put it in the B tier. As we're talking about this is all on a scale, of course, the Nightmare on Elm Street scale, because I think the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise is one of the strongest slasher franchises. Like, none of these movies are fucking terrible. They might be terrible to, you know, some people, but like, they all kind of fit in and tell an overarching story that mostly makes sense. And next up, we've got A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. And I gotta say, I think I've seen this one 3 times total. Once on my original viewing, another time when I marathoned them, and just recently again when I got the 4K set. And oh man, for me, in terms of the original movies, excluding Freddy vs. Jason and the remake, this is the worst one. And I know that there are people that actually do like this one, and they like it a lot. And I think it's overlooked, and I don't see it talked about a lot. I don't see it hated. I don't really see people praising it. I see, occasionally I'll see, you know, Christian, Planet CHH, praise it. And when he does that, I'm like, man, am I missing something? For me, that one just doesn't do it. There are a couple cool kills in that movie, I will say. Particularly that motorbike scene. But other than that, like this movie has great poster artwork. It has Robert Englund. There are some interesting, you know, and fun sequences. But for me, overall, like this is the one that just falls short. That I'm only going to watch when I'm like trying to get the full Freddy arc and story, marathoning the movies or something, you know. Other than that, this one's never going to be pulled out of the shelf. And that's unfortunate to say. Just my least favorite of that original run. Next up, we got Freddy's Dead, and this one is maybe going to break some hearts or piss some people off. I don't know, we'll have to see, because for a long time I had a Freddy's Dead poster hanging up in my studio, if that tells you anything about how I feel about this one. This is one that when I watched the DVD series after I bought it, I latched onto immediately. Like, this was super fun, and Rachel Talalay, great job with this one. Thank you. Seeing the new 3D with the 4K was great. And again, this changes up, you know, some lore and stuff. It gives you new story. It has really interesting sequences, some not so great in effects, but they hold up well enough. For me, this one's fun. I don't know why. This is just like, this is a good one to put on like a Saturday or Sunday afternoon when you're not doing anything. Just lay on the couch and watch this. Perfect afternoon movie. And I've done a whole video before about why I like Freddy's Dead, so if you're interested, check that out. But we are going to be truly honest with our opinions here, and we're going to throw it in the B tier next to Dream Master. I think both of those movies are growing in how much I like them. They haven't quite caught up to Dream Warriors yet, but we'll see. That could happen. Next up, New Nightmare. So, New Nightmare, man. I think I've seen this one maybe around 5 times as well. So this is a movie that, again, I watched for the first time on that DVD set, and I really liked it then. But this one sort of had an opposite effect of Dream Master and Freddy's Dead. It's actually gone down my list over time. I ranked the Nightmare on Elm Street movies before, and to be honest, I don't remember where I put it. But I guarantee it wasn't where it's about to be. So New Nightmare is going to go in the C tier here with Dream Child, and I'm even hesitant to do that, because I do like it more than Dream Child, but not as much as Freddy's Dead and not as much as Dream Master. Now this has really incredible sequences and makeup, and of course the way this movie was made and the way that it tells a story very much helped us get all the way to Scream, which is another franchise that is pretty strong and also started with Wes Craven. So I don't know what it was. It was the most recent watch of the 4K that I realized, man, I don't really like this movie that much. I think I just want to like it because of what it was and what it represents and how it affected Scream coming out. And that really sucks to say because, again, even saying that, I still want to like it. And I think it's decent, but just in terms of the rest of these movies, like, I'm picking the other ones first. Alright, so next up we're talking Freddy vs. Jason. Now this is an iconic movie, and I am so stoked that the public opinion has shifted in favor of this movie in the last 10 or 15 years. I was a kid when I saw this in theaters, probably 12 years old. I had seen maybe one Nightmare on Elm Street movie, one Friday the 13th movie, and they were the first Nightmare on Elm Street and part 8 of Friday the 13th. I got the DVD for Christmas that year, which I still have in the collection. Like, this movie works. It is ideal. I can't think of another way to have brought these characters together that would have worked better. The references to, like, Hypnosil, the fact that we have Springwood and Crystal Lake, although they somehow drive there, I don't, whatever. But I'll be damned if Freddy vs. Jason doesn't hold up extremely well. I've done a video comparing the DVD to the Blu-ray of this release before, but I need to do a full review on it sometime because I think I would have a lot to say going through this. There's definitely some negatives to the movie for sure, but for the most part, at this point, because of the theatrical experience I had, the DVD experience, it's become a comfort movie. And it's going in the A tier. I'm sorry to those who I have offended. And lastly, we've got the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. So I've watched this movie once in theaters when it came out. That was, 16 years ago? Like, I remember having an okay experience watching it in theaters. There were moments that I liked it, but by the end of it, I was definitely out. And as time goes on, everything I remember from it is not good. Now here's the thing, I don't own a copy of it right now. I might hunt down a DVD copy and find out just how bad I think it is still. Maybe I'll do that video in November, but as of right now, that's where it's at. It's the worst, and not because it's a remake. Listen, I like horror remakes. There's a few out there that I would say maybe are better than the original. I've done lists before on horror remakes that I like. Not a complainer, but this one just doesn't do it for me. My opinion's changed on a few of these other movies as well, so who knows where it could end up. I can't imagine it climbing any higher than C, though. Let me know how you guys would rank these in the comments below. If you want to support the channel, feel free to join as a channel member. You'll get exclusive access to monthly videos and stuff like that. You can also join on Patreon. Links for that are in the description down below. And if you like this video, be sure to check out this one and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.